Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Sword Isles and our story, Gubat Banwa, Ashen Glory, brought to you by the folks here at Friends Who Roll Dice. I am Julie, or Julie Ciel, the Umalaga, or Game Master of this lovely pre-colonial Southeast Asian story that we are telling of demons and wonderful fantasy, and oh my goodness, so much violence. We are gonna dive right into the violence today, but first, we are going to refresh ourselves on our players. And in addition, my friends, to introducing yourselves, I would like you to also introduce your characters and your characters' favorite food. Feel like that's something very important in Southeast Asian culture. So doesn't necessarily have to be a Southeast Asian specific dish. It's very possible that you can just be like, I love berries. Whatever you think works for your character. So is there anyone who would like to introduce their character first for today? We have Steve.
You said favorite food. I'm like, yes, I'm in. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what it is, I will figure this out. But
Yeah.
yes, my name is Steve Wen. My pronouns are currently he, him. I'll be playing Pablo Salamanca, whose pronouns are also he, him, who is our Senapati. And Pablo's favorite food, he loves to feel fancy, whether or not it's fancy or not, but it's 100% just for like people who are visiting for the first time, things like that. It's that pineapple cut in half, full of fried rice and just like shrimp or some squid rings or things like that. He thinks it makes him feel so fancy, but every single time he gets disappointed with it because when you finish eating it, yeah, you have like the nice pineapple chunks, but you have so much pineapple flesh on the outside, and you just sit there for like so long, just picking away at it. And it'd be easier just to cut it open and just start like eating it like a watermelon, but you can't because it's supposed to be fancy. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like he thinks he wants it, but at the end of it, he always regrets it. Favorite food.
Nice. The pineapple paradox.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It also feels very Pablo-like to, play life on hard mode a little bit just because he feels like it's the
Oh
thing
yeah.
to do and seethe about
Yeah.
it the whole time.
Yeah, there are battlefields everywhere with eyes to see them.
Yeah, fair.
Incredible. Who would like to introduce themselves and their character next?
I'll do it. I'll do
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Hi. Wow. Why am I awkward no matter what I do? Hi, I'm Sylvia. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Paloma, who also uses she, her pronouns, who is our fabulous blade weaver. And Paloma's favorite food also has pineapple aspect. But it is pineapple covered in what I believe how it's pronounced is Li powder,
Hmm.
which is like this type of savory, sweet, bright red coating. So yes, it's pineapple, but it looks like fiery orange red because it's coated in this powder.
Very nice. I
Sounds
feel like
awesome.
that's also very character appropriate too. A little kick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Ross, the stage is yours.
Hello, my name is Ross. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Jace, the murder glaive. Their pronouns are also he, him. His favorite food is meat. So meat. But I think what he always has in some compartments or some bag is fermented shrimp paste. So bagoong or something. So if the meat isn't that great, then he slathers it on. If it is good, then it's just like a little dainty dip, and then down the hatch. So that's Jace.
Very Beyonce hot sauce in the purse at all times.
Hell yeah.
Legend.
Jace would have like a bagoong strapped to his backpack on like a carabiner and like ready to go.
Queen J.
Yeah.
All right. So before we dive into the combat, let's have a little recap. I know it's been a second since the first episode, which you should check out. If you're here anyway, you definitely missed some stuff. But to recap the first session of Gubat Banwa, Ashen Glory, we met our three Kadungganan, our three warriors of the Lakanet of Virbanwa, the kind of colonized, nation of the Sword Isles that seeks to spread the beautiful, glorious light of the one true deity Makagagahum to all the rest of the Sword Isles. Though you three warriors were posed with an interesting conundrum. You actually must work alongside one of these societies that many of your people look down upon. This was the mission bequeathed upon you by Father Ignace Corazon, a devout, faithful priest of Virbanwa. So you said goodbye to your mentor, Margarito Tempestos, the Storm Sword, and went off on a boat to the territory of Ambuhotan, a island not too far off the coast of Virbanwa, but that is under the control and culture of Gapusan, a Mamandala, a nation of beautiful wind-swept plains, of warrior pride, of belief in the spirits and the winds and all the things that can change. You met with the elder of the village, Makusog, their warrior, Laya of the Thunder, a jacked, tattooed woman, and their partner and the child of the elder by the name of Bulan. It was the three of you, plus one of the personal guards of Father Corazon by the name of Egil, and a very well-equipped warrior of Virbanwa in eagle armor, a little bit of a jock-like figure. But hey, many people are united through their actions and their combat, and despite your disagreements with perhaps Egil, perhaps these people of the village, you all found yourselves united when demons, Yawa, entered the village. So without further ado, let's dive into this combat.
Go!
Let's do it.
And welcome to combat. You see Ambuhotan and this lovely little village being assailed by demons. If you look atop this roof, you have a warrior demon, this red striped figure wielding a spear, and demons are starting to crawl out of the crevices of the buildings. For whatever reason, they have arrived, and it's time for you all to deal with them. Now, first and foremost, we are going to divine the powers and see how favorable the gods are to you, well, going first. So, who here would like to roll 4d8?
I only have the 1d8. Shall we do everyone grab
One
your
each.
fated
Yeah.
die?
One each.
Do it.
One
Okay.
each.
All right, everybody, go ahead and roll those things.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Oh,
One
no.
evens.
I got a 4, which I remember because we got a 4 last time and I was
Mhm.
nervous.
Yep,
Yeah.
a good omen.
I got a 5.
Okay,
I got a 6.
Ooh.
okay. And folks, I got an 8. So,
Yay. All right.
narrowly, you have rolled more evens than the enemies have rolled odds. You all gain 3 Thunderbolt tokens. You can have a max of 5 right now, which you can use for your abilities and for rerolls. So that does also mean you, the Kadungganan, get to go first. Now, if you look at the map, I would just like to point out we have the 3 of you in this little square. You may rearrange yourselves if you'd like to. There's probably not a big difference at this point because there's enemies everywhere. You do also have Laya of the Thunder and Egil here as well. They are going to be your allies in this fight. Bulan and Elder Makusag are both here, but these 2 family members are not as combat equipped. But Laya and Egil will be acting after all of you, unless you all tell them to do otherwise and they can act before. So if there's any arranging you all would like to do, let me know. Otherwise, one Kadungganan may take the reins and kick things off.
I'm good with arranging here. Is everyone else good? Okay,
Yeah,
I think
feels good to
Jacinto, I
me.
think I know your game plan.
Yeah. Is there any way to move them closer or move me closer? Because I'm going to,
Mhm.
I guess I need to get them taunted.
Yeah, so
Um,
you have free reign. You just let me know what you'd like to happen, and I can move your token as
oh,
needed.
Definitely. No, I meant more question for Steve. Is there any like abilities or anything to kind of slide me to a position so I can get more taunted? Because essentially what I'll be able to do is get up in front of the ogre demon in the north, which is probably the big problem. But then that's all I'll be able to get up and taunt, and that's it.
Yeah, so for my general abilities, it's not so much I slide you, but then I attack and give you an opening to tumble in.
Got it.
That's typically how my abilities work.
Got it. Okay. Then I'm just gonna Jace rushes forward. So he'll use 2 moves because Julie is annoying and put the ogre demon at 5 instead of 4. All the way up to the ogre demon to the north.
Actually, 1, 2, 3. So the ogre demon is.
Oh, it takes up.
The ogre demon. Oh yes, you are.
I do need to go one more up.
It takes up 2 by 2, but unless you have a ranged attack you'd like to commit to, then yeah, you would have to move 1 more time.
I'm going to move 1 more time.
Okay.
Just so I can for sure get a taunt off.
Fantastic. So Jace, you with your combat instincts are the first to notice the biggest guy in the room. In this case, a large purple-skinned humanoid lumbering forward, multi-armed, holding a giant sword between the houses. It barely fits, but it is set on moving towards the village. Please continue.
Sounds good. So before Jace kind of rushes forward, he glances over to Pablo and looks at Egil and the elder, kind of like not really trusting Egil, making sure that he doesn't kill the elder while all of this is happening. For whatever reason, I just don't really trust this guy. So I kind of give him a glance, being like, please watch over him, and rushes forward. And as the ogre demon sees and makes that connection, Jace takes out his large studded club that starts to emit this smoke. This is the first time you're seeing Jace in his full armor, in his full regalia. So he has that spiked helmets and his cuirass, this chest plate, essentially. But what, as well as that military jacket with the Gatusanan textile underneath. What's unusual though is as he takes out his club, he says a prayer, more of like a promise rather than a prayer, and he doesn't rush ahead necessarily, but he kind of quickly walks forward, and he says under his breath, the road to my salvation is paved with blood. Whether it's yours or mine, the road to salvation is paved with blood. And as he says that, whether it's yours or mine, rivers, these thin ribbons of blood starts to drip from his helmet and off of his chest and down his arm and into his club, that then starts to emit this black smoke. He walks up to the ogre demon and looks up at him, and he does like the too small taunt. And the smoke starts to unravel and wrap around this big ogre demon as he uses Censor, which taunts the fighter until the end of your next riff. Excuse me.
Incredible. So I'll make a note on my sheet that the ogre demon is taunted. All right, fantastic. And appropriately enough, it seems like it might be time for the ogre demon to go. So the ogre demon is going to, well, let's see if I roll a d8 and if what it does makes sense. Okay. That seems to be its strongest attack. All right.
Great. So when you start your riff, you have to roll a d8. If you roll under 3, because that's the number of thunderbolts I have, you will take d8 points of damage.
Fantastic. Let me go ahead and roll that.
Ability called Noble Bastard.
I love it.
That.
Ross, I have rolled a 2.
Amazing. You only take 2, unfortunately.
Okay. So 2 points of damage to the ogre demon as the smoke starts to choke them, but it is not going to stop them from doing its Devil Beast Madness ability.
Fancy.
It is going to do an area attack, which at this moment will only hit you, Jace.
Nice.
It is going to deal 2d6 plus ferocity versus your resilience. So give me just a moment while I roll that. Ba-ba-ba. All right. Ross, that is going to be math. What is your resilience?
4. It leveled
Okay.
up from last time.
You are going to take 8 points of damage. Your resilience has already been subtracted. As the ogre demon raises its sword into the air and brings it down with a burst of fire upon you. You take that bit of damage, and it is going to use its last beat to do Devil Halo. It is going to taunt you until you hit it, as it raises its 2 extra arms, which start to cast this spell of golden light. And Jace, suddenly you can only see this thing ahead of you.
Excellent. When he hit me,
Mm-hmm.
the smoke around him, or around Jace, actually,
Mm-hmm.
contracts very quickly, and it looks like he's covered in jackfruit spikes. This
Cool.
is Jace's new Enting called Counter Knives. So every melee attack, the attacker takes 6 damage, or D6 damage, excuse me.
Wow.
So I rolled a 3.
Okay.
Jack him up.
Jack
Sorry.
him up.
Yes.
Incredible. Wow, you didn't even attack, and the ogre demon has taken 5 points of
5
damage.
damage, yeah.
Excellent. All right. We are on to our next Kadungganan. Steve and Sylvia.
So, Sylvia, I think here, obviously, like, we're being surrounded here, and that's like just bad news for us. So I think Pablo will say to you, they create a crescent around us, split the moon in half. So I think what we should do is we need to figure out like a way to just like eliminate some enemies and just make it a fight like less on 3 sides, more like on 2 sides. 2 sides we can handle, obviously. 3 sides is asking quite a bit, especially with these unknowns with us.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And then my other question here is demons like this. Obviously, we're still somewhat in the tween years of our careers, but are there any kind of stories or education or things we might know about this type of demon?
That is a great question, Steve. As you look around at these creatures surrounding you, you are very quickly able to spot these waves of negativity rolling off of them, this purplish, reddish energy. These are creatures born from negative emotions, from human hate. And you look around at them, you see this ogre demon, you see this warrior demon with a spear, messy tiger stripes on its face, almost like a mockery of a warrior of the Sword Isles. Atop the roofs, close to where Jace is, you see these shrouded demons with a number of weapons. You see them holding pistols, full-on long, not pistols, long rifles, ostensibly. And there's one thing that you, the master strategist, knows about demons. You have to finish them quickly, because they are going to get stronger as the fight goes on and as their energies fester.
Okay. Yeah, so Pablo says, split the moon in half and do it quickly. My gut here says, Paloma, if you can take out a gun demon, you have the mobility. I'm most worried about gun demons because they can just like, they ignore our great kind of positioning, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Paloma, I don't know about take out, but Paloma can definitely mess with or mess up a gun demon.
I've seen you mess people up and it's the same thing. Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay, quick question, Julie.
Yeah.
So the houses are a +2 elevation.
That's correct.
So when it says 1 fighter at range 3, so that's not the same thing as 3 tiles away, right? Because we're at +2 elevation, or is it because the range is higher than the elevation?
That is a great question. What is the ability that you're trying to use?
So it is my quick blink before striking motion. So I need a fighter that's at range 3, and then before I attack them, I get to fly to them and then attack them.
I see. For this case, I'm going to let it just be 3 tiles.
Okay.
Because I, as the GM, am not entirely sure, and I also just love that you are thinking vertically with it. I'm willing to reward that.
Okay, thinking vertically gets you points, everybody.
So
Let it be
Shadow,
known.
Shadow, as you do that, I would also like to spend a thunderbolt. I would like to have, as I say, the moon shall be cut in half, imbue bravery upon Paloma. So I'm going to give you +4 damage to
Wow.
all of your attacks.
Holy
Yes.
turn.
Holy butts! Okay,
Nice.
that's a lot of damage. All right,
It's
hold
to
on.
all
Write down.
of your attacks
That's 4 damage. Okay.
for,
Okay.
for this. Obviously.
I'm ready. Are you ready, Julie?
I'm so ready.
We're taking down this gun demon. So I would like to move north 3 tiles,
Mm-hmm.
which then would put that gun demon to the right
Mm-hmm.
within 3 of me, right?
It certainly
1,
would.
2, 3. So then what everyone's gonna see is Paloma's sword is kind of glowing like a deep purple. And Jace and Pablo would know that means that she's in sorcery state right now. And so as she points at this gun demon with her sword, she mutters a quick incantation and rises up and flies adjacent to the gun devil. I get to fly 2.
Incredible.
So yeah, that one. Perfect. And as I just kind of like, all you see is like this purple streak as she makes this flying motion, and she lands and immediately slashes down on this gun demon.
Okay, nice.
Ooh, that's a 5 on the die.
Incredible.
Hell yeah.
So what is the total damage before subtracting the gun demon's defense?
Okay, so this is where it gets great because it's a 5 on the die plus 5 of my spirituality,
Oh, jeez.
plus an additional 4 from Pablo versus his parry.
Okay. So what was the total damage versus
So
versus
5,
the
5, 14 versus the parry.
Wow.
Holy sh-
Okay. The parry for a gun demon is a simple 1. So
Yes.
13 damage towards the rightmost gun demon. What does this attack look like, by the way, Paloma?
Yeah, so as she blinks in with this like purple energy, and as soon as her sword makes contact across the gun devil's torso, her sword goes immediately like a bright teal color as the attack forces her into sword state because she made a melee attack. So that means that she also deals an additional 4 damage
Oh my god.
on top of this, as she like slashes down with such force, and there's like this, you can feel it in the air as there's this buildup of energy as this teal light just kind of bounces off of her sword at the end of the down slash
Mhm.
and pushes or throws the target 2 tiles away.
Wow. Okay. You've shoved the gun demon to the edge of the map to the point where hisses at you as it goes flying off of the roof and loses its vantage point.
Nice.
So good.
Winning.
Is that Paloma's victory chant?
No, definitely 100%. You just hear like this little thing every single time she does something good.
Nice.
Okay, so that was my move, and I whacked something, and now that I'm in sword state, oh wait, I'm in sword state, and I make a melee attack. So I made a melee attack, so I'm gonna spend a thunderbolt for my Pinagogsama. Nope, I added an extra letter in that. I'm so sorry. So that I can point at Jace and heal Jace for 8. Heal Jace for 8.
I'm back to full.
Wow.
Yeah, as I just kind of like complete my downswing, kind of like fully spin off of it, do my haha winning, and then like give Jace a thumbs up like across the rooftop, and I'm just like, hey, and then you hear like the little like coin like ding sound as Jace heals.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And then as my last beat, you know what? We're gonna do something wild here. I am going to. The word is not guard.
Deflect.
Deflect. Thank you. Just trying to figure out what the word was. Yes, I'm going to then deflect as my last beat.
Incredible. And Paloma, as you finish up your turn, you do, as you take this incredible leap into a downward strike, hear a few gasps of amazement from the Gatusanon who are watching you in this fight. Leap with a glowing magical blade, knock this demon off of the roof, cast sorcery afterwards. You've impressed a few folks here.
Love it.
Incredible. Before Steve goes, I think it's time I stop going easy on you as the warrior demon, this tiger-striped winged humanoid with a large spear, charges down from the roof and leaps down, landing in front of you, Steve, approaching you slowly. Drool drips out of its mouth as it bares its fangs at you, and you see it stab its spear into its own chest, inflicting 2d6 damage to itself. Oh my goodness, that is
This could only be good for me. Nothing bad can happen from this.
100%. So because the warrior demon deals 8 damage to itself, when it draws its spear out of its chest, it is boiling with shining demonic blood, and this is going to deal an extra 8 damage as it attacks you.
Thanks.
Very good.
So it is going to do its burning demon strike against you. Like we were saying, absolutely nothing bad. This is fine.
Yep.
Okay, so that is going to be 11 plus 5 plus 8. I believe that is 23 points of damage.
Yep.
Thanks, Reese.
Minus my...
Oh, yes, minus your... this actually targets resilience.
Okay, so I have 3 resilience, so you said 22 total?
23, I believe.
23 minus my 3. 20 even.
My goodness.
As the warrior demon leaps down and attacks you.
Great.
How you looking, Pablo?
That's fine. On a scale of 1 to 35, I'm looking at 15 out of that.
For sure. All right. And now the warrior demon is going to do its action, revel in homicide. As after it's slashed you with this burning spear, this burning energy starts to cover its entire body, as well as the demonic blood from the spear starts to coat its arm, causing it to sizzle as well. Its next attack is going to be even worse this time.
Okay, great.
And with that, Pablo, I think it's about time you had a say in all this.
Yeah. Okay, totally fine.
Great timing. Fantastic.
Oh, great timing. Yeah, this is fantastic. Okay. So Pablo takes this strike, and it sears and it hurts. And Pablo slowly stands up. And before this combat began, Pablo, knowing that we're fighting demons, has shed off that very nice kind of silk top that he has, revealing what his party already knew, but his beautiful like scale and feather body, which alludes to his mixed race heritage throughout the entire Sword Isles. And as he is struck, he says, "You know, I am the one who fought Adla, a 4-armed crimson demon atop Cat Mountain. You don't scare me. In fact, you should be more cautious." So this is a bluff. I'm fucked. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and I don't think I have a whole lot here. I could have used the Thunderbolt to make you tumble 3, but I think Jace, you're in a good position, and I think Paloma, you're in a good position. So I don't think you need to tumble. I think here I'm just going to do my best to survive with what I have at my disposal. First and foremost, I start off with some people in my Warlord's aura, so I gain a Thunderbolt for having 2 allies in my aura. Next, let's go ahead and let's just attack. let's use seize the thunderclaps. And as Jace says that, is going to go ahead and strike.
Mhm.
So D8.
Yep.
4.
4 will hit, and the damage will be 4 plus your ferocity.
My ferocity, which gives it 8 total against parry.
Okay, fantastic. So that'll be 5 points of damage to the warrior demon.
Excellent. And with that, as I strike, Pavlo says, Adlaw assumed I was alone, but I'm never alone. And Leia can now tumble 3.
Incredible. 1, 2, 3. As you create this opening, Laia of the Thunder sees her opportunity and does a dash behind the warrior demon. She steps on the ground. You see her muscles bulge for a moment, and she almost flash steps like a blur, facing behind the warrior demon back towards it, ready to strike.
Excellent. I'm going to attack again with 2 disadvantages. They are called, not merits. What's the opposite of merit?
Demerit.
Demerits.
Demerits, yes. So I'm going to attack with 2 demerits, so 3d8. Take the lowest.
Exactly.
The lowest was a 4.
Which still does not miss. The warrior demon's evade is only 1.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do disarming violence. So that is 4 plus ferocity, so 8 damage total minus the resiliency, excuse me.
Yep.
And then the next attack against that target gains a d4. And why the heck not? Let's go ahead and attack one more time with so much demerit. So it's 5d8 at this point, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yep.
You got this.
Just don't roll a 1. This thing's evade isn't great.
4, 4, 4, 5, 5. So 4 is my lowest.
Holy.
What the hell, dude?
Oh my gosh.
So as I strike again for another 8 damage minus, is it resiliency or resistance?
Resilience.
Resilience. Another strike. I say Adlaw's biggest flaw was assuming that the little things don't matter. Adlaw could never pay attention to details. Eggle. And I'm going to have Eggle slide in, tumble in for 3.
Whoa. Oh, would you look at that? Egil goes, okay, I like the way you think, little man. And he's going to run forward with his shield and his spear.
And with that, Pavlo is going to strike a stance with that chopping blade given by the village here. And I think Paloma and Jace would recognize that this is a bluff, as he places a hand behind him as if to puff out his chest, but you can see a pretty deep wound all across the inside of that arm, bleeding quite badly.
Ooh. All right. Well, there we go. Pablo fighting his best regardless of everything going on. Fantastic. All right, now a lot of stuff is about to happen because we got a good amount of demons and we got 2 NPCs. So first, we are going to have the gun demon closest to Jace go. Let's see what it wants to do. Okay, fire, unload gun, and heat up. Interesting. All right, so the gun demon is going to see that Paloma knocked its ally off of the other roof. It is going to hiss as it cocks its rifle, and it is going to make a ranged attack on Paloma.
That demerit, because Paloma is deflecting.
Oh my goodness, you are right. It would have hit if not for that.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, well there we go. So
pating as it flies off her sword.
fantastic, amazing. Yeah, that would have dealt a good chunk of damage too. All right. So its inflict violence did not work. It now is going to do its unload gun devil ability. So this is an area attack. Can this hit Jace? Yes, it can just hit Jace.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
So all enemies in burst 3. I was just making sure it wasn't going to hit its friend, the ogre demon. You know, I don't want to cause any tensions between these demons on screen. So the gun demon is going to, after realizing it is unable to connect with Paloma, kind of cock its rifle and fire a shot into the sky, which rains down in a hail of sparks. That is going to be... Oh, wow, that's a good bit of damage. Jace, that is going to be 18 points of damage minus your parry.
So 14.
Okay, so 14 points of damage to Jace from this attack. And finally, the gun demon is going to do what a lot of demons seem to like doing, is going to cock its gun. You see that as it does so, it grips it so hard that demonic blood starts to come off of its hands, and it is going to power up its next attack by 3d6. All right. We have a few NPCs to run through, so Laya of the Thunder is going to go now. Pablo, you have given her flanking, and she is facing back to the warrior demon like Akuma from Street Fighter, and she is about to unload, ostensibly.
Excellent. I'm going to spend my last Thunderbolt that I have. I think I started this combat with 3. Does that make sense?
Everybody gained 3 at the very start because of that. So whatever rollover, you could potentially have up to 5.
Okay, so I think that's my last Thunderbolt thus far. Potentially could gain some more. I'm gonna go ahead and inspire. Oh, sorry, no, I have 2 left, so I'm at 1. I was looking at the wrong sheet. I'm gonna imbue bravery here.
Okay.
And I'm going to. I think Pablo is going to say. Could you once more pronounce to me our god's name?
Maka Gaga Hum.
Maka Gaga Hum. Maka Gaga Hum. This is for the audience here. You watch me struggle through it, like person of color struggling through it. I'm Vietnamese, and like I can't. This is tough for me.
It's a whole other language, my friend. You're good,
Yes.
and I'm glad to have you here.
Absolutely. So, Pablo is going to say, Maka Gaga Hum, or whoever watches down on you. You are in the spotlight. Your skill, your ferocity, your talent are seen by the gods. Do not disappoint.
All right. Laya smiles at you, Pablo, and goes, "My gods are the wind, the soil, the water, and everything around us. God is in everything, and God is in my fists." How much does this power her up?
But it's the same +4 on all of her attacks.
Oh my god. All right. So Laya is going to surge with energy as she uses Gahum internalization. Gahum is kind of like a word for energy, spirituality, etc. So Gahum is kind of like a word for like the ultimate like power.
Yeah,
basically.
the person that has the energy, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, Ross. And she is going to gain plus D12 on her next attack. Yeah, she's gonna start ripping into this warrior demon. She's going to do inflict violence, lone dog fists, and start attempting to rapid fire punch this demon. She does have merit, thanks to Pablo's flanking. Very good use of that.
Nice.
So that is going to be, let's see, so she's going to get to roll 2 d10s. 1, 2, and she's going to take the higher. The higher being 7. It is going to deal an additional
Amazing.
4 and an additional d12 on top of that.
Does she do like the arm reload, like the Henry Cavill arm reload? And then,
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
I know the exact one you're talking about.
I love it because arm reload, either this age that thinks it's Henry Cavill, or you think it's Yang from Ruby.
Yeah,
my
true.
Yes.
Why not both?
Oh,
It could be both.
Yeah, do both.
Do both, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, man.
so that is a juicy 28 points of damage minus 3, so 25 points of damage to the warrior demon. I will pull back the curtain a little bit, folks, and say that the warrior demon is the kind of the brave enemy here. It has double the HP of everybody else. It's not looking so good right now. Y'all are doing some really good stuff. So with Lone Dog Fist, with her arms reloaded and surging with energy, she punches into the warrior demon's back so hard, Pablo, that from the front, you can see its chest start to buckle from the other side as it is being caved in from the back.
Oh, man.
Love it.
So that was just her first 2 actions. She is going to say, "All right, I think you guys got it from here. I'll go handle the other ones." And she's going to, you know what she's going to do? She is going to move downwards and physically block this tiny Gama demon. This like very short, maybe like 3-4 feet tall, big, constantly open mouth and claw, kind of scrambling across the ground. She's just going to physically block it. All right. Next up, we are going to have the gun demon that Paloma knocked off of the roof. I think what it's going to do is it is going to do that same attack that it did against Jace, because that does connect with Paloma regardless. It is going to do fire cotton flower. So let's. That is going to be a 7 on the die. Paloma, does deflect work against one attack or against all of them?
Deflect on all attacks until the start of my next riff.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll again to see if it misses, is what you're telling me. It's a 3. Is that higher than your evade?
Oh, by 1, yes.
Unfortunate, but that's not going to be too much damage. It is going to be 6 minus your parry.
6. Oh, only 3.
Okay, nice.
Was that a ranged or area attack?
It was.
Okay, because of my fancy garb that I have, my sash, you kind of see my sash like magically activate a little bit as like the tail end of it just kind of sends out a little shockwave that will deal. Oh no, that's the wrong type of die. That will deal 7 damage back to the gun demon.
Whoa, okay.
7 damage?
Yeah.
7
Awesome.
damage.
Yo.
So, folks, you might have noticed that our Kadungganan are indeed powered up since last time, not only from gaining a rise in legend and their signature techniques, because, you know, they're no longer holding back against their sword teacher. They have also brought along their anting, their kind of magic items in the world of Gubat Banwa, these blessed sacraments that they are fighting with.
I am so sorry, but I have an unthing and I forgot to mention it.
Oh?
So I did strike 3 times, but all 3 successful. But I'm wielding not just the chopping blade, but my signature spiraling blade. So my first attack, I create bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
On my second attack, because they are already bleeding, that's an extra 4 damage.
Okay.
And on my third attack, it was an additional 4 damage. Obviously, this is
Wow.
all of like beyond what's going on here. So I leave it to our GM to figure out what the story here looks like, but just wanted to let you know that information.
Absolutely. I think as you can kind of have the opportunity, as the thing is being pummeled from the back, combat happens so quickly, you have the ability to deal a quick little few extra strikes against the warrior demon as it is pincered on all sides.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Let's see. All right, so the gun demon is going to take the rest of its turn. It is going to it's going to just book it, basically. It is going to start running and ostensibly leap to the top of this roof right here. You can see that the wispy nature of the gun demon allows it to jump very high. And it also cocks its gun, gaining a little bit of extra power. All right. Next up, we have Egil. Egil looks to you, Pablo, and says, think you can trust me to handle this one?
So, Pablo's gonna say, stay close. So, how does flanking work? Do you have to like go across them?
Yes. Egil seems to be wanting to move to the other side of the gun demon.
All right, fine. No. Pavlo has struck a pose and continues to hold it as the demon's chest burst out from Leia's attack, splattering blood across his face. And Pavlo looks to him and slowly nods up and down as if proceed.
Egil starts cackling as he uses his movement to go behind the warrior demon, gaining full flanking. And let's see. Well, the area attack doesn't make sense because that would hit you, so he's not going to do that. He's simply going to inflict violence, two-handed strike. He is going to kind of slide his shield onto his arm so that he can grip his spear with both of his arms and swing downwards. So this is 2d8 with merit, so he's going, or 1d8 with merit, so he's going to roll 2d8, take the higher. That is 6.
Nice.
So he is dealing a total of 12 minus the warrior demon's defense, which is going to be 9 points of damage to the warrior demon. And
Nice.
Pablo, you see Egil's enormous form disappear behind the warrior demon. You see a glint of golden armor as he swings his weapon, and the warrior demon starts having blood dribble out of its mouth, and then out of all of the wounds that you, Laya, and Egil inflicted to it, and you see it starts to melt. And out of its mouth, as it starts to shrink into the ground, becoming a bloody puddle, just the words "kill, kill" come out of it. And you've taken out the boss already. Good job, everybody.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh, I got a little sweaty there. I got a little bit I got a little nervous.
I was kind of hoping Egil would miss, because as a chief enemy, the warrior demon had the ability to act again within the single round, but y'all stopped it before it got there.
I was
my
100% ready
gosh.
for this demon just to like body me for the next one.
Incredible. Egil is going to use his last... Well, let's see how smart he's feeling today.
That's valid.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's roll that. Yeah.
So he is going to look over to you and say, "Don't worry, I know I've got a job to do." And you can see from Egil's fighting style and the way he's equipped that he is a royal guard. That is the fighting style that he's kind of like spec'd into. So he is going to kind of run back past you and plant his giant shield on the ground, having spotted another Gamma, another tiny demon coming in from the corner.
Okay.
All right. We are almost to the end of the round, folks. This is a big, juicy combat, but it is time all of our tiny little demons go. The Gamma is going to, the bottom right Gamma across from Laya is going to attack her. That just seems like the quickest one to resolve. It is going to deal... Oh, wow. These things are actually kind of strong. It's going to try to deal 8 damage to her. Ooh. It doesn't say there's a die roll to hit, so I think it just hits. The Gamma is kind of like a minion type of enemy, so they're very frail, and they're kind of made to function very quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm smelling some 4E design notes
Oh,
here.
yes.
I love minions. They're the best.
Laya is going to take a simple 4 damage from the Gamma as it slashes her, and it is able to move 1. Tumbling, every time they attack, they're able to kind of skitter again. It is going to run over here, and as far as I know, because there's no die roll, I think it can just attack. So it's just going to deal 8 damage to Bulan.
Yikes.
Okay.
How are they looking?
So this thing runs past Laya. Laya realizes that the Gamma is running towards Bulan. Laya is going to shout, "My love!" And Bulan is going to narrowly hold their arms up, and it took a decent chunk from that. Like, you know, if I was to numerically put a number on it, they're maybe feeling at like, I don't know, like 12 out of 20, you know, something like that.
Wow, okay.
Within Pablo's warlord aura though, +1 to defenses.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know, maybe like 13 out of 20, you know.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Still,
Every point counts.
every point counts.
Gamma number 2 is going to run up to Pablo.
Damn.
And it is going to deal 8 damage versus your parry.
Okay. My parry is 3, so 5 damage.
Incredible.
Excellent. I will spend a thunderbolt.
Mhm.
And I'm going to use Inspire Valiance.
Mhm.
When you suffer attack, spend a thunderbolt, call your allies towards you. All allies may, you don't have to, tumble 3 towards me. And I'm thinking there's one person who I know would love to take that right now. And it's probably Laya.
Yeah, 100%. 1, 2, 3. Laya is going to, seeing the opportunity, motivated by your words as well as her partner being in danger, kind of flash step back facing the Gama.
Okay.
All right. The Gama is now going to... it's going to attack Laya again. Because now there's another one within its range, and more claw strikes. Laya has now taken a total of 8 damage. And Laya's pretty healthy. She and Egil are kind of more in the power level of the two of you. Not the case for Bulan and the Elder. All right. We now have the remaining Gama. This one is going to run up and attack Egil twice. So it's just going to start skittering at him and... Whoa, what's this thing doing? As it is able to kind of get its claws into the chinks between his armor, he takes 16 points of damage.
But he is in the Warlord, so do make sure he has +1 defense on each attack.
Thank you, Steve. And finally, the last Gama. Let's see how far it can run. I think it might have to move twice. But it is going to go over to Laya and deal another bit of damage to her. All right, so Laya has now taken 20 damage. Egil has now taken 8. Bulan and the Elder look to you. Bulan, who hasn't really been speaking very much, this kind of round-faced, wild-haired individual, is just going to say to you, Pavlo, the people of the village are more vulnerable than us. So long as these creatures have us to attack, they will leave the others alone. Me and my father will not go into the houses. Anything we can do to hold these things off, we will.
Pavlo gives a look. Like, Pavlo is really good at lying, but the person he's practiced the most lying to is himself. And as those words wash over him, Pavlo recalls a memory of seeing violence towards innocents, children, men, women, who never asked for this, evokes that emotion, and then provides a look to Bulan that evokes that same pain, but says no words.
Noted. Bulan looks to you, Pablo, and says, "You have struck true, so will I." They do a few quick gestures with their hands, and they are going to say, "Barung!" as this hazy, poisonous cloud appears. I'm using kind of a modified Arcanist stat block for our friend Bulan right here. And with this puff of smoke, the two Gama choke into mist. Now, the Elder simply takes on a deflect stance, saying nothing, focused up on the battlefield, therefore meaning we are on to Resound 2, the second round of combat. Jace, you face-to-face with the Ogre Demon are seeing the negative energy ripple off of it even more as it lets out a bellow towards you. The demons all fester. And when demons fester, they now gain +1 to all of their attacks. And they are going to do this every single round. Now, there are 5 demons left. Y'all have dealt with a good amount of them. Who would like to go first?
So I think we need to eliminate something as quickly as possible. We have first round advantage, first strike advantage. I think Paloma, someone is itching to feel the finale of your blade. I feel like you could just delete someone right here, right now. Take them out of the picture.
Delete.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can I just delete somebody? You know what? I might be able to delete somebody. It's a maybe.
I mean, there was that gun demon that you like clowned on.
Yeah,
in the southeast.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, no. I can do it again. I can clown on him.
Yeah, let's.
Paloma's
Okay.
down to clown.
Alrighty. So Paloma receiving the clown signal from Pablo. Is going to actually look across the roofs at the gun demon that was not the one she attacked last time. So the one that's to the left of Jace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to start muttering an incantation for her Mantala Paru Paro as this ball of energy of these blade winged butterflies starts to form, and it forms on the edge, like the very tip of her sword, on the dual tips that it has. It kind of forms like right in that little nook there, and she just flings it towards that gun demon on that roof. So he is going to take. Oh no! Oh wait, no, wait. Hold on. Does a 2 hurt them?
A 2 will hurt the gun demon.
Yes. Okay.
Hey.
Perfect. So that's
Loved
a
it,
2 plus 5, so that's a 7 versus their parry.
Okay, this is the one on the closer to Jace, right?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
the
to the
west of
left.
Jace.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. So that is going to be 6 damage, as their parry is only 1.
And as a follow through of her swinging her sword to yeet that ball of winged butterflies at it, she throws herself up to 2 tiles away as she's like flips away. So Julie,
Yeah.
the 2 tiles, 1, 2, right, is like the corner of the house.
Okay, like there.
No, 1, 2, 3. You know what? That works. 1, 2,
Okay.
3. Yeah, that'll work.
Oh.
As she then follows through, and she gets a thunderbolt because she made a ranged attack.
Cool.
I have to always remember that because it's awkward because it's the range attack one. Okay, and then again, it turns with this wicked look, bearing her fangs in this smile, this like wicked smile, almost like she's like trying to mimic the demonic smile that they are wearing. As she again, this purple energy kind of swells up her sword as she again blinks out. 1, 2. Oh wait, I don't know if this would work.
I believe.
1, because she can fly 2, and then I need to be adjacent to it. Is that enough if I land on the lower one?
You would still be adjacent, yeah.
Haha! As I blink and fly forward, and with my down, as I appear just down striking on this gun demon over here.
You are going to, because you're attacking with a melee attack at a lower elevation, have demerit for this.
Have the demerit. Yeah, let's do it. Come on, demerit. Oh, demerit die was a 3.
Still hits.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So for this guy, she does 3 plus her spirituality, which is 5. So that's 8 damage versus its parry.
8 damage versus its parry of 1, so it takes 7 damage. Wow, it is looking hurt.
And on top of that, because this attack made her shift from sorcery state into sword state, this extra burst of energy comes off of her downswing as she deals an additional 2 damage.
That is just enough to KO it.
Yes, I knew
Paloma, paint a picture.
Nice.
So as this excess of sorcery energy bursts off the tip of her sword on the downswing, this energy blows through its torso, ripping a hole clean through it, and also flings its body 2 tiles away, because it would have done that anyway. So I imagine it just kind of, it's almost like ironic because it's almost like a sound of a gunshot as this energy bursts through its torso and flings it 2 tiles.
Incredible. The gun demon sails backwards, its body discorporating into mist. You see its gun land on the rooftop before it melts into a puddle as well.
And as her last beat, she is going to move 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. She's gonna move just to where the corner of the house is, like in the pathway.
Okay, gotcha.
Here? Yeah, right there. Perfect.
Nice! An excellent turn from our Blade Weaver. That was crazy efficient.
That was actually like wild what you
Yeah,
did. That was wild.
The position is perfect. Yeah.
Solid.
so
I
cool
was
to
like
see.
waiting because I saw that both of the gun demons were exactly 4 away from me, and I was like, I can do
Right.
so much with this.
Oh, sick. All right. Let's go ahead and have the Ogre Demon act now. So the Ogre Demon facing down Jace is not really able to get past him at this moment. So
try.
It's true. I think this thing is not that bright, just kind of as a creature of destruction. So it's just gonna start attacking you. It is first going to do its Devil Beast Madness once again.
Okay.
So this is going to be 2d6 plus ferocity.
It hits for sure.
Oh my god. It rolled 2 1s. It got a snake eyes.
So my evade is 1.
Yeah.
Does that still? Does it still?
That is
miss?
the one attack that you can dodge on.
Oh,
literal-
nice.
Unbelievable.
So can it be that this ogre demon has multiple arms and he kind of strikes down at the same time?
Mhm.
And Jace had actually dropped his club and he's actually holding the arms up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You are able to hold back the arms of this ogre demon.
Yeah,
It is willing to attack again with demerit, as it is going to do its Narca Aura. This is a little area attack. As you are trying to hold it back, it roars out. Please, not another one. Okay, there's a 2.
Yeah.
There's a 2, even with the demerit. So Jace, that is going to be 6 minus your resilience damage.
So my resilience is 4, so I only take 2.
Okay, fantastic. And because the ogre demon festered, it is now going to gain basically a little bit of temp HP. That's the ogre demon special ability.
Got it.
It now has an additional 5 temp HP ostensibly.
Okay.
All right. That is going to be, because Devil Beast Madness is a 2 action turn. That's it for the ogre demon. Jace or Pablo?
I think Jace makes more sense here.
Yeah.
Because a taunt here keeps them basically locked down, and now we're just like on janitor duty.
Yeah, exactly. And narratively, he's in the position.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So Jace had kind of dropped his club to hold up this ogre demon as he roars in his face, and Jace has to attack the ogre demon, right? Like that golden aura taunt.
That's right.
Yes.
The golden aura. Well, you're taunted, so
I'm taunted. Okay.
Ostensibly, you can attack other enemies. You would suffer demerit.
Demerit. Okay. And as like the ogre demon roars, Jace actually pulls him closer, and he says, "You don't want me to just see you." And the sensor continues to like billow as he is now not just taunted but dazed. So that's the one. So ogre demon is now dazed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. He also started his riff in my aura, so I'm just gonna do a D8 damage.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it. Oh shit. He does 8 damage to.
Okay.
To the ogre demon.
Fantastic. That blows through its temp HP.
As like that's happening, the I think Pablo and Paloma, you would see this, but Jace's shadow, his smoke isn't normal. Usually it's glaives and spears and kind of sharp objects, but As it swirls, it starts to take on the form of snakes and crocodiles, more reptilian, just flashes of it, but it's starting to form in this swarm of these gnashing and gnawing jaws. And Jace, he goes all out. So I'll just kind of lay out my turn. So he did the censor, Ogre Demon's dazed. Jace is going to use 2 Soul Eaters, blow through all Thunderbolts, and do another Soul Eater.
Oh my god.
Oh my
So he's going to do
gosh.
3 Soul Eaters.
Yep.
I will say that as like Paloma sees your smoke building up and taking form, you just hear, almost as if her voice is in your ear and she's standing next to you, you just hear her say, "Rip its arms off." As she spends a thunderbolt
God.
for her Pinnacacalis.
Yeah.
As she can add before you attack, she can add a +6 damage, d6 damage to your attacks.
Let's go.
To all of them?
To just one.
To just one. Okay.
Okay.
Just one.
Okay. Hold on. Jace has a lot of stuff. Okay. So
Yeah.
D6 to that. He also had his counter knives. So the Ogre Demon attacked twice, was it?
Yeah,
Against
it attacked
Jace.
once and then it missed, and then it did its kind of like AoE attack on you.
So counter knife says when you get attacked. It doesn't say if I get hit. So when I get
Oh.
attacked by melee damage.
Sounds right to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna rules lawyer.
A true counter. Yeah.
Please.
yeah. I'm a counter build. So
You can jab and punch. That's a little counter.
I think
yeah,
as
for
he like catches it, the shadows form around his hands as well, and then pierce into the ogre's arms. So it does 5 for one
Nice.
and 2 for the other, so 7 in total.
Okay, fantastic.
And now we're just gonna feast. So the first one is a D8.
Nice.
It is an 8.
Okay.
So 8 plus spirit is 4. That's 12 plus the 6. That's 18.
Minus
against
its resilience or
Resilience. Yep.
Oh my god, Jace.
And then Jace is gonna take D6 of health, so he's back up to 23, which is great.
Okay.
Great. That's 1. 2. I'm keeping an eye out to see if he like falls, but
Yeah.
6 against
6 against his resilience.
I guess the well 6 for the against his evade. I
Oh,
suppose.
yeah. Evade is very rarely over 3.
Okay.
I don't think it's possible to raise it over 3. It's usually 1 or 2.
Got it. Okay, so 6 plus 4, that's 10 versus their resilience.
Jace, please describe how you blow apart and rip to shreds the ogre demon.
Oh, amazing. The shadows kind of it does exactly what I said. It starts to swarm, and rather than these spears and glaives and swords, these jaws start to rip and tear against this ogre demon as the shadow kind of overwhelms it. You can see that it's being eaten apart like moments before it is just consumed by this darkness. And Jace sucks it all in.
Fuck
So he
yeah.
does another just 1 point of healing, which is a-okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have gotten 2 thunderbolts because I attacked a taunted creature, so I have 5 thunderbolts now.
Noted.
Which is fantastic. I will. Can I attack at range to the gun demon?
If you have an attack within range 2, yes, you can.
Yes, amazing. I'm gonna spend 3 thunderbolts and do a Shadowbringer attack, which allows me to attack at range, and I get to pull them too.
Okay. Noted. Yeah, go ahead and make that attack.
So 6. That is a 6.
Okay, 6 will. Yep, I mean, it's going to hit.
Yep. So 6 plus 4. That's 10 versus resilience,
That
And they
is
get-
just minus 2.
and they get pulled 2. I would love to get them pulled in front of me, north. So they have to like
Ooh, smart
Nice.
Jace.
heal.
Was that a ranged attack, Jace?
It was a ranged attack. Yeah.
And did you get the highest number on your die?
I did get the highest number on my die.
Does that mean it's
is
a
that a critical?
critical hit?
Oh my god. Yeah, that is a critical hit. So,
Okay, what does that
Jace, you are going to add your spirituality one more time to the amount of damage.
Oh, okay. So 14 in total versus resilience.
Okay, fantastic.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Sick.
So
Dope.
Jace is just like eating.
Yeah.
He's like feasting in this
Oh,
northern
yeah.
corner, trying to deal with, trying to create a bottleneck essentially.
And Jace, as you were fighting the ogre demon, I think there was the briefest flash where, as the smoke was devouring it, from your vision through the helmet that is driving sharp points into your body to focus, the shadows almost clamped down on it like a set of jaws before it devoured into you.
And Jace's right arm is like twitching wildly. He's not even like letting it. He's not controlling it anymore. It's like trying to claw and attack on its own, essentially. Yeah.
Incredible.
And that's me.
That is a great turn. Jace, you, thirsty for more, yank the gun demon towards you with a tendril of shadow. The gun demon faces down this towering murder glaive, and it's going to run. The gun demon is going to run 1, 2, 3,
Great.
4, 5.
I use Dragon Lashes Out, which is a signature technique. So that those same crocodilian and snake-like creatures lash out and grab the gun demon and try to on its ankle. I can inflict violence against them, which is great. I'm going to do another Soul Eater attack.
Okay, yeah, go for
Beast.
it.
Beast.
Which is a 2.
2, its evade is 1, yeah, so it is narrowly going to hit.
Amazing. So 2 plus Spirit, that's 4 against Resilience. And then Jace heals up another 3, so 27.
Okay.
And then if I do 1 point of damage, it has to stop its movement. So the minute it's tried to move away at that bottom right-hand corner, it can't anymore. Yeah.
Jace, you have done something truly incredible and confounding to me as
Yeah.
Jace, you see the demon start to run, and your vision kind of flashes. Suddenly, everything you see is in light blue and white, as you see a vision, as if the gun demon moved past you. You see the vision of the gun demon barreling past you, grabbing onto the two Gama facing down Pavlo and Egil, and feeding them into itself, becoming a violent devil god of a demon, growing in size and starting to slam down on your allies. At this moment, Jace, you hear a resonant voice in your mind. A voice that kind of snarls, reptilian-like, through a guttural diaphragm, saying, "Stop it." You lash out and prevent this future as you are able to stop the gun demon from moving and turning into my cool boss. That's okay. It's fine.
I think it's Jace's arm, the one that's twitching wildly. Jace isn't even really focusing. It moves in with instinct and grabs, and Jace like pushes him into the ground.
Yeah.
And says, "No."
Oh, hell yeah. And for folks who are interested in running and playing Gubat Banwa, fun thing about demons, not only do they grow stronger in every round, but when there are 3 left, they will attempt to run towards each other, and if they become adjacent to each other, they grow into a 3x3 square demon that has all of the abilities of the previous demons.
That's awesome.
Pretty
So
nasty
cool.
stuff.
That sounds so
gosh.
cool. That won't happen.
Yes.
not on my
today.
watch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jace saw that shit happening, and I've now introduced an ability for you to see it to the future. So I don't know, maybe that'll come up somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
The spirits are really in tune with you for sure.
Spirits are amazing. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Realizing that the what's it called? The gun demon is unable to move away from you.
Mm-hmm.
It is quite simply just going to start doing area attacks against you. So it's going to cock its gun, and in an act of desperation, it is going to attempt to blast you, and it is going to deal a good chunk of damage with this, most likely. Okay, so that's that. And the previous turn, it did use Heat Up, which, because it cocked its gun, it's going to deal extra damage. Your evade is just 1, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So, this is going to be a total of 9 plus that's 14 plus Spirit 4, so 18, 20, 26 damage minus your
Whoa.
Minus my parry?
Yes.
Yes, nice. So 22 damage.
That's right.
It just attacks, and parts of Jace's his armor kind of stays still because of the shadow enwrapping him, but any flesh starts to get ripped off, and you see chunks of him fly away. But Jace still has 5 posture left, so he's still up and running.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so Jace, you kind of stamp your foot down, and this huge barrage of fire surges past you, and there's kind of like a moment where, from the gun demon's perspective, there's a vision of seared ground, except for where Jace is standing, where he just took the full load of it.
Yeah. And Jace looks him dead in the eye.
Right.
Actually, like pulls him closer, and he says, "I said no."
Oh, hell yeah. All right, Pablo, you're up. There is a gun demon and 2 gamma remaining on the battlefield.
Paloma, should you inflict violence, what is the range that your violence could have here?
I could attack something that's within 2 to 4 of me, or exactly 3 of me.
I see 4 here for a gun demon. Does that your count as well?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, if it doesn't have to be a specific thingamabobbers, the gun demon's 4 away from me.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with my signature attack. I'm going to use a resounding Warlord Blast. Let's start off with some violence here. So a D8 plus ferocity just to check. And I'm going to use that against the gamma in front of me. 6 plus ferocity is 10 total.
Yeah, it's done. It's shredded.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Excellent. So as Pablo is kind of dancing with this one, you can see making like crescents in the ground with his toes. And as the creature like lunges animalistically, the chopping blade goes down, and Pablo simply swiftly breaks it between the carapace. Paloma, he looks to you and places a heel on the edge of the blade and just steps down and says, "Put them down like the filth they are. I'm going to give you 3 merit. You gain a merit and relentlessness on your next attack.
Hey.
Dang.
Then I'm going to blow the Badyang again. So ally in 3, 1, 2, 3. That's you, Paloma. Go ahead and inflict violence again.
Do a thing? Okay.
We love doing things.
Okay. Hold on. I have to double check what relentlessly means.
Yeah.
Relentless means if you roll the highest number, you can roll again. Actually, wait a second. I think
that's a regular crit, isn't it?
That's a regular crit. So I think relentless, you just get to roll. You just get to roll the die again. I'm pretty sure.
If only someone had given us this cool reference sheet right before today's game.
Yeah. What if we double check this cool reference sheet?
It doesn't have relentless on it.
All right. Maybe it's a
cut that in post.
I'm pretty sure you just get to roll the die again.
Relentless attacks lets you re-roll any dice that come up as 1 once.
Oh, thank you, Ross.
There you go.
Yeah.
So re-rolls. That's still great.
Okay, yeah, that's so amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get to attack anybody that I can?
Inflict violence. It says inflict violence. Do that.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. As Paloma lets out this like shrieking laugh, and her sword energy shifts back to the bright teal color, as she again starts forming these like steel-winged butterflies in the ball of energy for her Mentala Paru Paro.
Mhm.
And she's gonna hurl it at that gun demon.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
All right, and I get merit.
I love
they
it
both
because
came up as ones. Get to reroll that.
You get to reroll.
Whoa!
That's perfect.
Okay.
so there's a weird mechanic here where if you have merit and relentless, if your bad die is a 1, still re-roll it for a crit. So it can turn disaster into favor, which
That's
is
true.
wild.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Let's
Do I
see.
reroll both of them or just one of them now?
I think it says reroll 1 die.
Just the one? Okay.
Okay.
Any
Ah.
actually, attacks let you reroll any die that comes up as 1. So
Oh,
that
I get to
sounds like
reroll
both.
both of them.
I think it's both. It turns all disaster into potential like victory.
Oh my god,
Love
my
it.
one die keeps coming up as 1.
Roll it again. I don't know if it lets you. I don't know.
I've rolled it twice already and it just comes up as 1 each time.
I mean, how many
it says
Thunderbolt
once.
tokens do you have?
Once. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's all good. It's all good because the other die was a 4.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're good no matter what. But I was just
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
what?
That is wild.
It just
I mean,
keeps rolling.
Listen, this is why I love strategy games, because strategy games are all about turning luck in your favor. You
Yeah,
know, it's
totally.
there will be an element of bad luck, there will be an element of randomness. What can you do as the player to mitigate it? Which in this case
Yeah.
is just stack buffs on buffs on buffs.
Just keep buffing. Just keep buffing. Okay, great. So I did that, and then it's gonna do the 4 plus the 5, so 9 damage versus its parry.
Okay. Noted. So that is 8 damage.
And then the effect is I flip myself 2 tiles away from it.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Is the energy it takes me to throw this ball of winged butterflies, steel winged butterflies.
Amazing.
Love it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
The
and
end.
with my last beat here, first of all, I'm going to gain my Thunderbolt for having allies so close to me as a warlord. With my last beat, I blow that Banyang once again, and I look to Egil and I say, make yourself useful.
Ooh.
Go ahead and inflict violence.
All right. Egil is going to inflict violence. He is once again going to two-handed strike. As long as he hits the Gama, it's done.
Nice.
Guess who rolled a 1?
Come on.
Gee.
Wait. He is in my warlord aura. He gets +1 on violence die. I think I might save him here.
Okay, +1 on violence die, so it's now a 2.
It's actually a +2 on all violence die and defenses, excuse me.
Okay, so +2 on the die, not the damage. So that means he technically rolled a 3 by that count.
Yes.
So the Gama are made to be like super quick, low HP, literally disappear as soon as they're touched. Their evade is higher than all of the other demons on the battlefield. It is still a 2 though. So as long as
Jeez.
Ooh.
Set up, Julie.
Gotta keep the tension going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did it.
Egil looks to you and says, "Useful, please. I'm the strongest man you'll ever see." He swings his spear down and bats the Gama with the flat of it, and the Gama goes flying about 20 feet through the air before disappearing into a puff of smoke and liquid.
Yeah, and Pablo kind of gives that expression like, not bad, kid.
Pretty cool, right?
No response.
Yeah, not so. Anything else, Pablo?
That's all for me.
All right. Wow, we're kind of in a weird situation where there's only one gun demon left and a bunch of your allies. The gun demon is acted, so I think Laya is going to attempt to finish this. Especially with Jace flanking. So, Laya is going to... Where is that stat sheet?
Let's go ahead and spend that that Thunderbolt. I'm going to give Laya, I'm going to view her with Bravery for +4 damage on all attacks.
Noted. Very good to know. Laya is going to take some slow steps towards Jace. Pablo and Paloma, you see her marching slowly. she kind of crouches down, clenches her fist, and becomes a blur. She reappears on the other end of the gun demon as she has literally used her ultimate ability, instant transmission, for all of our Dragon Ball fans.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Which is
Yes.
she teleports 5 and then inflicts violence twice, ignoring combo breaker.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
She starts
Yeah,
punching into
yeah.
the gun demon rapidly as she is now going to deal a whole bunch of damage to it. With the flanking on the first one, that is going to be 14 plus 8, 22 points of damage to the gun demon. It's done.
Yes!
Yeah.
And on the final blow, Jace, you see the gun demon start to splatter against your armor until she just continues punching. Until it is nothing but a smoldering pile of blood. And that brings us to the end of our combat. You have successfully defended Ambuhotan from the Yawa that threatened it.
Woo!
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah.
It was
The
good though.
warrior demon's terrifying, man.
Oh my gosh.
Me as the Umalagad, I'm like, maybe I should have done 2. Those things were fun. I might bring them back at a later date.
Yeah,
'Cause
those
I
were
like-
intense.
Yeah, if the warrior, a gun, and the ogre demon melded, that sounds terrifying.
Oh yeah.
That would have been a bad day.
Yeah.
Listen, you're in the land of the Yawa right now.
True.
It seems like. So could happen again. We'll see.
Yes.
And with the Yawa cleared from the village, y'all breathe a big sigh of relief. Egil looks to all of you and goes, "Pretty good job, team."
And I think Pavlo is the first to just like walk up to Egil and put a hand on his shoulder and just say, "Pretty good job, team." Just repeating his words.
Kind of just cackles proudly to himself. Pavlo, you really planted yourself in place protecting the village elder. So Makusog, this very elderly but very proud Gatusanon, looks to you and goes, "You fought well, and doing so with the weapons of our people. I recognize the effort that you have put in, both in combat and to respect us." Looks to Paloma. "You who run wild and free across the battlefield. There is something of the wind in you." And he just leaves it at that. And as you're all kind of collecting yourselves, he looks over to Jace and says, "You are one that confounds me in many ways. This practice of yours to wound yourself and charge forward is a Virbanwenyo invention, no doubt." But then he looks to the ring on your finger, bequeathed by Father Ignace Corazon. "But perhaps it is appropriate that one whose soul reflects Virbanwa was chosen to represent them. Please nurse your wounds. Our warriors on the edge of town have said that the coast is clear. We can rest."
Jace like looks down at this ring and he questions, like, was that responsibility that moved me forward, or was that me, or was that something else? I don't know. And he looks at his shadow and says, "What are you?" and Laya's right there.
Yeah.
So Jesus kind of like talking to himself because he's also bleeding profusely.
Mhm.
He was just bombarded with a scatter shot, and chunks of his body have been blown off, and or at least chunks of flesh have been blown off, and he's a little dazed and confused, looking around.
Laya's going to walk up to you and kind of clap you on the shoulder with like
Oh,
a big meaty hand and
uh,
just say, "It was good fighting. You still standing?"
yeah, yeah. I don't know after that one though. Like, you gotta put the guns away after a fight.
Hey, you gotta maybe not have a little bit less big pointy spikes inside your armor, my friend.
Yeah, he looks at it, he's like, oh yeah, shit. And he kind of breathes in and they retract and more blood kind of just gushes down because they were also plugging up those wounds. And he very quickly in that same ritual takes out a black bit of cloth and wipes himself up and takes off his helmet and covers up the wounds on his head to be as presentable as possible. And now that his helmet is off, he says, yeah, no, Spike's bad. I know. Yeah, I need it though. So
Why?
uh
You can move so much faster if you're not, weighed down and wounding yourself all the time.
true. Yeah, absolutely. But those steps won't have weights to them. Uh it's the path I need to walk. But you're amazing. Yeah, you gotta tell me about your workout regimen, protein intake. I just lay it on me because seriously, those guns are amazing. And he's like pointing at very uh, obviously trying to redirect the conversation.
Laya kind of takes you in and says, when it comes down to it, it's not the workout or the strength training, but it's having someone to protect. I think that's something that you understand.
And Jace is kind of dumbstruck. He's not really sure what to say. Uh,
And
uh, yeah.
And
and
yes,
with
go ahead, Steve.
and with that, I think maybe Pavlo and Paloma maybe have like caught up just outside of like focus of the camera here. And are beginning to like approach Jace as kind of like something to protect kind of like is said. And maybe the camera refocuses and Pavlo is really hamming up like Paloma, this might be fatal. I think I could die from this. I think this might be it. Who should I leave my belongings to? Who gets all my money, do you think?
Well, obviously, you leave it to the church, Makagago, whom will gladly take anything to help with the
Sure, 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 sure,
cause.
sure. But what's my what are we gonna do with my house? And I have a extensive liquor collection, and I'm just saying I can't take it with me. It's got to go to someone else. And Makagawa, whom I'm sure is a great partier, but you know, maybe not.
Hmm. Maybe you should leave it to. Hmm. Chloe like thinking this over.
Yeah, as like steam
Uh,
is coming from like her ears.
Yeah, like you're like
yeah.
really thinking about it.
Maybe you should leave it to. Uh, uh, you should leave it to old warrior Donnie.
Huh.
Hmm.
I never really thought about that, but you bring
Yeah.
up a very, very good point. Definitely
What?
I will ponder that upon my deathbed. Hey Jace, I'm dying.
Hey man, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a that laugh of brother in arms.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, when aren't we? Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like Jace looks at his body. He's like, "Yeah, I'm at 5." He's like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's not looking good. Maybe we need to sit down."
I think we need to sit down, and I think more importantly, we need to eat something.
Food? I can make food. Don't. How about you take a seat and then I'll whip up a delicious snack.
Jace pulls Lion and
Ooh.
very close to him and says, "Hey, don't let her make it for anyone else other than me and Pablo.
This is the most serious I've seen you all day.
Your people are important to us."
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, okay. Um, hey, Elder, why don't I help you in Bulan, um, get some more food for the village and our guests? Everything was so trampled in that battle. Give us a second. We'll go gather some supplies from the forest.
I will help Jace to go to your healing huts. We'll be there shortly, but joking aside, we are not fatally wounded. But some care would be appreciated. We will see you when we can. And Pavlo looks to the rest of the group like, this is our time to talk together. Like, this is us now.
I feel like as we walk towards this place of healing, Paloma like snatches a couple geckos off of like the side of the passing like huts and everything. It's like these will make for a great snack.
Their skin will be so chewy.
So chewy.
That's why
So
we make them
chewy.
crispy.
So crispy.
Crispy.
You know what, Paloma? Why don't you roll for this? Let's see. Which worker skill
I
makes
thought for
sense
sure
here?
you were just gonna give Shadow a thunderbolt for a passion of cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, listen, that's potentially in the cards. I'm just
Yeah.
so curious to see you know what? I'm gonna have you roll a worker skill. I'm gonna have you roll judgment, Paloma.
Oh
Okay.
god.
Oh, good
Yeah.
no.
Observation and
Hmm.
analysis are nothing without good reasoning.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, that is a strong 6 with a 4 on the die.
Okay. Well, good news, Paloma. You are positive that the small lizard that you're able to snatch crawling up the wall is edible.
Good. It's everything we ever wanted.
And you're able to snatch a few more.
Look at these. Look at their spots. Ah, that's just built-in flavoring.
Yeah, that's gonna have to make like looks to Jace 3 or 4 bowls worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What better way to rebuild your strength?
Rebuild.
Anyways, I did want to take some time. Joking aside, the battle's not over. We're here for a mission. It's to bring these people to light, to make them understand that the best option has presented themselves to us, to them, and they should really see the signs.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job at ingratiating ourselves with the group, the village. I think I'm just more worried about whether these creatures can leave this island. Are they aquatic? Can they fly? Are our people in danger as well? So, do they breed? Do they grow somewhere? Can we just burn a hive? I don't know, but like
A question maybe these folks can answer, but
Mm.
we absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
But what I see here is a repeat of what we just experienced. I see an ogre. I see an ogre to be taunted, an ogre to be kept busy. Jace, I think tonight during dinner, if you can find Laya and just speak to her and just keep her separate from the rest of the group. She has sway. She has the ability to rouse people. She influences them. I need time to focus upon their warrior. And their warrior is not in body, but in spirit. I think the elder is who I will need to make feel like there's an advantage, only to surround them. Paloma, that leaves you with their. I won't use the word, it's too disgusting. But there are other people on the field who I need you to find and quickly jump between. Entertain them, make jokes, do tricks, things like that. We're going to need time.
Okay.
It's no different than the battle we experienced, in my opinion. Just do more of what we just did, but with words, not blades.
Not blades. Okay.
Yes.
Well, like Makagagahoom's many heads, I shall turn many tonight.
Very good. Yeah, that's the spirit. Exactly.
And just, I'm still bleeding and dizzy. But could you clarify? The fight we were just in was to not die. What's the goal of this battle?
If we lose this battle, Jacinto, they might die. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But if we weren't here today, imagine what would have happened.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'm down. I'll maybe I can ask Laya and Bulan something. Keep them busy.
But of course,
Yeah.
your recovery is up at the utmost importance. Rest, bandage, staunch.
Yeah.
I will remind you of what the strategy is later tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course.
We can go get some coconuts. I'm sure it'll help replenish the electric in your blood.
The electric, yes.
The electric.
Yeah, I need the coconuts. And meat, if possible. And she just pulls out this little like clay canister with a pungent shrimp paste in it. Any meat, please, because those demons tasted foul.
Yeah. And Pop. Oh, go ahead.
Jace, you really got to stop eating things that you don't know where they've been.
I know, but
But I
can't
got this
waste
gecko
food.
for you.
Can't I just put myself in a trap? Yes, give me can't waste food. And Jace, is it still alive? Is it
Oh,
still
no.
like
I imagine it's been like slow roasting over some like embers
Oh,
of
okay.
like some sort of like fire thing
Great.
that's in the vicinity.
Sounds good. And Jace picks it up and says, down the hatch. And I have a toughness of 7 in case that's necessary for anything.
It's pretty good toughness, I can't lie.
Yeah.
Exceptionally good toughness.
I do like the imagery of like camera behind our backs as we're kind of like on like an afternoon setting sun fire, grilling up geckos, I guess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jace and like Pavlo are still like bleeding pretty badly, but it's like, let's make the time to like eat something. This isn't fatal. This will be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've come back from worse. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. As you all are getting your time to enjoy the reprieve, nurse your wounds, you all are looking around at the people of Ambuhotan, these Gatusanon people, and you notice some pretty stark differences in terms of their post-battle meditations versus Virbanwa. Now, in combat, you were able to very easily recognize the similarities between all of you. Your fervor for defending the village, for protecting the weak first, and using teamwork to defeat opponents, that's not new to you. But you do notice that kind of the precious food that the village has made for everybody and continues to make for everybody, some of it they're just leaving, not just at shrines in the village, but also in the forest. You can see a group of two young children, almost like an offering. They drop to their knees and then place a bowl of rice before a tree, and they just leave it there. Those of you who might have brushed up on the differences between Virbanwa and Gatusan might know that there's a great reverence for the Diwata, the kind of nature spirits from them. Now, you, as Virbanwenyo, kind of recognize the one true God, and then everything that they're doing is kind of the make-believe, and then pretty much every other strange ethereal existence is some type of demon. But they seem to have this respect for nature and this great, great joy constant through all of this. There's not just children laughing and playing, but it seems like they're also reciting poetry of their own design, of their own creation, as they are starting to relax for the evening, sitting in the town plaza, as it were, kind of sharing stories with one another. From what you know of Gatusan, they very much value this sense of community, perhaps something that comes from not having a single god to unite them all. Anything else before all of you call it a night?
I think so. So tonight is going to be like a get together, like a gathering, or are we going to wait for tomorrow for that?
So I think Elder Makusog will have Bulan, their child, just kind of mention to you, my father would like to talk to all of you one more time before we rest for the night. So please rest, please refuel. Laya and I are here if you need anything. It seems like she's trying to get to know your golden friend over there. Looks over to Laya and Egil talking. But we're here to assist you if there's anything you need. And just talk to my father before you sleep.
I think Pablo will say to Bulan, we came here with our belongings for Verbanwa, and our clothes are, of course, from our home. But here, as your guests, we would like to respect what you wear and how you have dinner and how you speak to your elders. We have money, Verbanwan money. We are not opposed to working for clothes. We can make sure that is made equitable, but I would ask that vestments be made for us, whether we
There,
rent them or borrow them.
there's a lot that you have to learn about the way the people of Gatusan operate, or Gatusan operate. We don't use currency in the way that you do. We are much more about, well, honor and trading and debt. We of the village for you protecting us, and me, I certainly owe you a debt for protecting my love and my father. Because I owe you debt, simply ask for a favor and I will grant it. If I grant you the favor of acquiring new clothing, new garments for all of you, then we can consider ourselves even on the debt of keeping the village safe.
See, I see. Well, the debt it's two ways. Leia made sure that I didn't what's the phrase I'm looking for? Eat shit on the battlefield.
She does that.
So I mean, I am indebted to her, your partner. So I don't know how this works, but my ask to you and my trust in you is that by asking for garments for tonight, you would understand the position we're in and make a fair trade of it. So if I ask too much, I trust you have the integrity to tell me so, and I'll make it right. We will make it right.
Indeed. All you need to do in the Sword Isles, beyond your Virbanwa, beyond the walls that you have created from the blood of fallen angels, is care for the world and the people around you, and they will do the same in kind.
This we swear.
They nod, and they say, If you are gesturing to elders, if you are speaking to them, you can kneel, place their hand to your forehead just as a sign of respect. Our clothing is, well, a little bit more fitted to the warm climates. Looks over to Paloma's balloon pants. We don't quite have anything with that much fabric, let's say. You might be showing a little bit more skin than you're used to.
Oh, sure, we can manage. And she gives like a little like side eye to Pablo.
Pablo grabs you by the shoulder and just squeezes it. It's like just like the battlefield. Unexpected happens.
We have longer garments if it makes you uncomfortable. I'm just saying general trends, general differences that I'm noticing. All right. Well, talk to each other, take care of each other. We'll see you soon. I think my father has a plan going forward for us working together. And Bulan will nod, and you see them walk up to their much larger partner in the form of Laya and just kind of tenderly clasp her hand. Laya just looks down, a big smile lights up on her face, and the two of them start talking to Egil.
Oh, he's a lot more popular than I thought he'd be.
Right?
Good for
He's not
him.
even,
I mean,
he's not even that popular back home.
it must be that exoticism. So bright and cheery. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it'll work in our favor, I assume.
Yeah, I think Laya is a cat and Egil's a mouse. That's my guess.
Very elegant. Very elegant, my brother.
Yeah.
So I suppose, yes, speak to the elder, understand what their circumstances are. But I don't think we play too much mouse. I think a little bit of claws will help us here. After all, they know why we're here. They know our wants. They know what's at stake. We can come to agreement. We can make this equitable. We make this fair. At least make it feel fair. Services for loyalty.
And they already know our power. So it kind of works in both ways. Both an offering, but also could be seen as a threat.
Actually, that does remind me. Paloma, Leia moved quickly on the field. Not to offend, but faster than you in some cases. Have you ever seen a technique like that?
Mm, that without wielding something else. Like she was just doing it with fists.
That's what I thought. Pure resiliency, ferocity, and strength. Never seen it before in my life. I'm just rambling now. But maybe we don't underestimate their power.
Yeah. Do we split them up tonight, or is it a tomorrow thing?
Change of plans. I think tomorrow. Let's speak to the elder.
Okay.
More information, understand the battlefield more. I might call you to arms socially tomorrow night. But let's see what they have to offer and see what we're up against.
Hopefully they have my size.
Incredible. Fantastic. So you all start to continue nursing your wounds. It seems like it'll take some time to gather some garments together, but after you are all fed and you eat, you're able to acquire Gatusan clothing. While Virbanwa has kind of the Western style, there's white button-up and flowy shirts, baggy pants, shoes, notably. Gatusan often go barefoot. Their clothes tend to be loose and flowy, and a lot of the warrior types especially tend to show off a good deal of their shoulders, chest. Sometimes they're kind of wearing a sash and not much else up top, essentially. And uh, the coloring as well is also very different from Virbano, which tends to lean for the most part like blacks, whites, stripes. Though these are simple garments, they tend to have pretty elaborate patterning for the most part. A lot of designs of intersecting triangles, of trim in almost a golden color across some of the robes. If y'all would like to describe, because we love a fashion show,
Heck yeah.
how y'all decide to fit in with the people of Ambuhotan, you certainly may do so.
I think Pablo. I'd love to volunteer first, y'all. So Pablo, I hope is. Let me know if I'm just like being too forward. You want to jump in, but I think Pablo here is not unaware of these kind of stylings, and so takes to this idea of like very little up top. The modesty really comes from how much you put on, and like it's very strategic, that kind of thing. So I think a single sash over top one chest, and asked for a second sash to go over top like an X-Men kind of thing, but they said no. So instead has gone with a higher kind of like wrapping around the midsection. The sash has the gold trim, whereas the wrappings above are like a solid color to kind of give it that kind of flow through. And Pablo's kind of digging it because with hair done up, it very much emphasizes the scales and feathers that cascade down his shoulders, indicative of like mixed race heritage.
Love it. Fantastic.
Oh, sorry,
Anyone
one
else?
last thing. Pablo
Yes.
has the softest feet. Just like soft feet, like even like sand that's too hot. Pablo is like, oh no. So yeah.
Oh no.
Incredible. And Pablo, as you do this, looking around at Laia, even at Bulan, you are very aware that both of them are very heavily tattooed. With even on the very slim built Bulan, and even their father, there's a lot of very complex lines and triangles in very pleasing geometric shapes going down their arms, and that is generally not the case for the people of Virbanwa. So you are seeming very naked in comparison in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyone else?
I think Paloma has refused to not wear her sandals. So she still has her wooden like high like one sandals that like lace up your calves. So she still is wearing those. She's refused to go barefoot. But I think she was presented with many options of clothing, and as I think at first we kind of have like she kind of does a double take, right? So at first she gets ready with is it a sarong? Is that how that's pronounced?
Mm-hmm.
So I think at first she comes out and she's like wearing this like sarong that's like tied up, and her shoulders are bare, her arms are bare, and then she like steps outside and just shakes her head and walks back in. And then she walks back in, and then she puts on it's like the kind of like loincloth-esque thing that's like super long, and then you can like fold it up to make pants.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what she's wearing. She comes out with that, and then she just has taken like a two piece of fabric as part of her top, because there was no other top option. She comes out, and then now she's like wearing like this pant get up, and she's like, this feels better.
Cool.
she
The
busts out.
bahag.
The bahag, yes, thank
yeah,
you.
that loincloth. Yeah.
Incredible. And as you're wearing this, Laia's going to look over to you and say, I mean, we have vests too, if you want to, just keep something up top. You don't look quite as comfortable as you did before.
Part of growth is being uncomfortable.
I don't think that's true at all.
I think perhaps I'm pretty sure that's a popular saying, though. Like, is that not a saying here? I'm pretty sure it's a popular saying.
Jace is like, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe for now I will try to toughen myself up and be like this.
Okay. I mean, hey, listen, if you wanna do this, feel free. You're kind of hunching your shoulders a lot more than you usually do, so I'm just giving you the heads up about that.
Uh, Thanks. And then like Paloma will like try to like straighten up and like mimic her stance. And it's like, yeah, take confidence.
It,
Yeah, you gotta show present it outwardly to feel it inwardly.
You say a
d-
lot of weird things.
Jace calls Paloma over. Paloma, I can help with that. And when Paloma like walks over, kind of like he starts Jay starts humming like a song that he knows. It's kind of like his work song. Um, but it just so happens to be like a lullaby from his mother, and he's kind of humming along as he like kind of refixes Paloma's loose kind of fabric on top to be more like a Gatusan and tunic, and he's like putting it in a knot and putting it in the right place, and he doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's like, I think it goes here, and does a quick knot this way. And then at that point, I think it would feel a little bit more comfortable and more purposeful than the wrappings that you had.
Fantastic.
And then Jace says, yeah, this should do. If it gets loose, let me know. And he goes back to what he was doing, which was his big military jacket. On the inside, there's that Gatusan and textile. But it isn't in the entirety of the jacket. It's actually just in the upper torso. It looks like the arms and the bottom of the jacket were attached to this vest, essentially. So he turns it inside out, and it's attached with clasps, wooden clasps. And he starts undoing them, so the arms fall off and the bottom of the jacket falls off until it's when it's inside out, it's a Gatusanan vest, just like what you would see in and around the people wearing it. He says, I think this matches a bit better. Yeah, okay. And he puts it on, and he also does a bahag, kind of girds the loins with that, and you can see his big calves kind of just like tightening up. Like, I don't know about this. I like shoes, but okay. And he puts his foot down, and as like the gravel and the grass and gets in between his toes, takes a moment and he says, yeah, this is comfy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we can make this work. But he looks at his right arm that's like heavily bandaged even before the fights, that wrapped up and hidden. um Verburn, there's like prayers written on certain pieces of linen that's wrapped around to kind of control this whatever is on his arm. And he says, I'm gonna keep this on if that's cool. And this is probably maybe the first time that Laya and Bulan would have seen it, but his right hand is he tries to keep it trim, but after all of that's happened, it looks like he's grown claws at the end of his right hand. And he's like, shit. Okay. I'm gonna this should be fine. Good to go.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
Thumbs up.
A very powerful thumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Laya kind of just like smiles, but Bulan narrows their eyes as they look over to your arm, especially, and they kind of look it up and down. Now, people of mixed lineages is common in the Sword Isles. This is culture upon culture
Mhm.
upon culture, all in this vast archipelago of different islands that speak different languages, dress different
Mhm.
ways, people that are physically different from one another. But still, Bulan does linger on your arm in a way that they did not linger on the exposed feathers on Pablo, ostensibly. But they say nothing in this moment, and you feel a hand clap you on the back really quickly, and you hear Egil's voice say, "Okay, looking good, my guy." And Egil walks up next to you for the first time, not in his armor, but you see that he does still dress kind of like your typical conservative Virbanwenyo. His
Mhm.
kind of puffy pants are tucked into boots that kind of become sandals at the very end. So everything is very contained. He wears a white dress shirt up top, buttoned all the way. His broad shoulders allow it to kind of drape, and there's still clear visible muscle definition in all of it just from how much his chest sticks out. And you can see that under his helmet that he had been very reluctant to take off before is a very short conservative haircut, extremely short on the sides and a little bit taller on top. And he just kind of looks around to all of you and goes, "Going the extra mile. Very interesting. Very interesting. I see you're making yourselves at home."
It
Soon to
definitely
be.
feels a bit more.
Go ahead.
It definitely feels a bit more comfortable. Also, you should take a look at your hand. Get that checked. After he slapped Jace on the back, I think it took a second for Egil to realize just how much that hurt. And
Oh,
you can
yeah,
see like
100%.
it's like red, and he's trying to kind of hide it, but it's starting to pulse. Yeah, sorry, I had to defend. I didn't know you surprised me.
You're made of something different,
It,
Jacinto.
yeah, yeah.
I go, we're making ourselves at home because this will be our home. This is the mission here. Or have you forgotten?
No, I haven't forgotten. I'm just I'm just trying not to get too attached.
Oh, why do you say it that way? You seem burdened. We're friends here. We're all friends here. We've seen glorious combat. We've bled together. We're brothers now. Come on.
Oh,
What bothers you?
nothing bothers me. I don't know what you're so on about. We're here to fight and move on. That's what I'm
Okay.
here for.
Okay. Okay. I won't press it. But know that these things can fester. It's better to let it all out, at least in the company of people you trust, among brothers and sisters, among people you trust. And if you don't trust these people, your options are pretty limited.
We're from Virbanwa, the greatest nation in the Sword Isles, the people protected by Makagagahum. I don't plan on shedding any of that.
Not even with your brothers in arms.
You are fellow warriors, and you are very strong. I'm looking out for myself, and I'm looking out for my people. That's the end of the line.
I understand. I respect your conviction, and I will not press it any further. But should you change your mind? And Pablo claps him on the shoulder, then looks to Paloma and looks to Jace. And a moment of seriousness crosses his face before he smiles again and says, I think we're late though. We have a meeting, I think. I hope there's wine. I hope there's wine at this meeting.
You have a weird double-speak way of going about things, Pablo. I just want you to know that my eyes are like an eagle, and I'm keeping an eye on you.
Be prepared to be amazed.
Jace is literally like behind him, going, "Whoa."
I don't miss a thing.
Well, this has been enlightening. Shall we go?
Yeah.
And then I
Let's
would like
go.
to say Paloma trips Eggle as like he goes to like walk away, like turns and like walks away, and like Paloma just like trips him and is just like, oh, my bad.
Jace catches him and then like squeezes his arms really tightly. Oh, yeah, you okay? But plops him back up.
This
Yeah,
is
let's-
why you have to keep wearing shoes. Like, I don't know how these people walk around like this. This is crazy.
Mhm.
And
Let's make our way.
indeed, you all in your new garments with your wounds stitched up. The people of Gatusan are very familiar with all sorts of healing herbs and medicines, so you're able to kind of take care of yourself. And even though some of the wounds might not have stitched up immediately, you do feel much better in the moment. And it is nightfall at this point, and for the first time, you enter the kind of hut of Elder Makusog. And Makusog is going to uh, be standing up to welcome all of you, with Bulan and Laya at his side. Um, and he is going to look upwards and speak to all of you, saying, I am not at all surprised of your power, as this is something that Virbanwa and Katusan both respect. As for its use, you know that you are here to hunt down one of the Pale, one that has killed both the people of our village of Ambuhotan and of your comrades stationed on our island as well. We have a mutual enemy, one that feeds on blood and flesh and spirit, that has claimed many lives. At this point, Bulan speaks next to them. I think it would be most comfortable if we all sit. And Laya and Bulan sit, kind of waiting for all of you to do the same.
As Pavlo begins to slowly descend, Pavlo says, before we begin in earnest, of course, out of respect, thank you for having us at your table. Should not we start with a prayer?
The elder is going to kind of cock their head at you and say, very interesting. Why don't you start?
It is your home. The gods listen to you. My God is listening, of course, omnipotent as he is, but is loving and empathetic and loves all his creations. I insist. Let us pray to the gods you worship, and we will give them all of our conviction and spirit. And I hope that you understand that this is not a lie, not a ruse, but a sign of respect.
Elias starts laughing and claps her hands. Oh man, you are going out that with such confidence. My friend, we don't worship the Diwata. We don't worship the nature spirits. We respect them. We make offerings to them because in many ways this is their house that we share. But in Gatusan, God is in everything, you would say. It's in the spirits, it's in the earth, it is in the little gods, the creatures, the spirits of the river and the ocean, the monsters of it as well. We make offerings, we celebrate life. This prayer that you're talking about probably is closest to maybe rituals for us. She's going to reach behind her and just kind of like pull out a bowl. We can chew some betel nut that'll make you feel a little bit funny, but it's kind of a sign of friendship if that's something that would appease you.
Now, Betel, I am familiar with. So let's I apologize. Let me remove this veneer of formality. Clearly, we are here among friends, to be quite honest. And you never heard this from me. In Verbanwa, when we pray, it's an excuse to have a little bit of wine. And Pablo's going to reach over and grab like a dark bottle, put a thumb over the top of it, swish around the dregs and whatnot, mix it up pretty well, that everyone can see it's mixed pretty well, and drink pretty hearty swig of a wine of some kind, and say, "There's prayers to be had, things about blood and spirit and flesh and all that, things that you would normally talk about in church. But in actuality, it's a moment for us to reflect, understand immortality, and then begin to talk about things that actually matter, the people that matter, the cultures that matter, the rituals that matter. So I drink to you, I drink to God, and I drink for a better future." And Pavlo hands the dark bottle to who is ever to his right. It might be Jace, it might be Paloma, it might be someone else.
I believe it's probably one of them,
Okay.
whichever it might be.
I think it'd be Jace because Jace is wearing the ring, so Paloma would want Jace in front.
Jace takes a swig, and he says, "I'm sorry, I ate one of your little gods." He like takes he takes a big swig of the wine and passes over to Paloma.
Laya laughs so loud at that.
Oh my god. Oh well, you gotta follow that one up. Paloma takes it. Let's give thanks for being able to just rip things apart today and come out on the other side whole. And she takes a swig.
Do you continue passing it to Egil?
With reluctance, yes.
Yeah. Eggle might realize that this is pretty untraditional. Like no
Oh,
cups,
yeah.
no anything like that. This is very unorthodox.
I think you do it at like family parties or on the street, like Tagayan, where you share a bottle and a cup, like a bottle of whiskey or whatever, and you pour. And
Yeah.
maybe in like, I don't know if Egil would have like wanted to let go of his veneer of formality, but I'm sure he's at least somewhat familiar with it.
So as he takes the bottle from you, Paloma, he looks to Pavlo in some measure of confusion, a strong measure of judgment. He's going to do a very pointed sign of the star to you, take a sip, and then pass it over to Bulan, who's near him, barely even looking at them. Bulan looks to the concoction, recognizing that you all were willing to drink it first, and therefore it is something that is most certainly safe. They're just going to kind of nod to Pavlo, Paloma, and then Jace, sip as well. The elder is next to them. Makusog is going to take a sip as well. And it's a strong, hearty sip. They take a few glugs of it before they pass it to Laya. And she's just going to shake it around and say, "Not too much left of this. I don't know why I went last." Take a big sip and just say, "It's not bad. Fruity. Interesting." And she hands it back to Pavlo.
When we drink like that, we say we are very faithful, is how we describe that. But yes, let us partake, bedel, relax, and talk more about these horrible creatures that will kill us all.
And you sit down on the cushioned floor. There's a bowl for which you are given the opportunity to chew on some betel nut, which is not uncommon in Virbanwa either. It's kind of ubiquitous through the Sword Isles, even with the cultural shifts that Virbanwa has taken since it has started adapting more foreign ways. But ostensibly, you're going to chew on it. It's going to get you a little high, and you're going to like pass the bowl around, basically. And as you all are doing so, Makusog is going to say, "This creature of Isohapa has been able to survive off of the people of the island for some time. As you saw, we are no stranger to the Yawa, the demons. But the Pale is something entirely different. It is a living creature that feeds on other living creatures. While the Yawa, the ones that we are most familiar with, are signs of hatred, negativity. Bulan's going to speak up. And guns and other things associated with Firbanwa. To be honest, we haven't had as much of an issue dealing with the Yawa until the people of Virbanwa made it to our shores. Some mixing of the negative emotions probably led to some of their creation as well. I hope that with nights like this, maybe, just maybe, we can decrease the negative energies flowing around our island. Maybe create less Yawa. But that doesn't solve the issue of the Pale. And it's not like it's something that's just going to come to us. It's a smart, living being that has survived probably longer than any of us in this room, given how long ago the war with Isohapa was. I don't know why it's here, but I know we need to get rid of it. The fight with the Yawa did yield some benefits, as the blood of theirs should allow me to create an oracular concoction, I guess I could say. I'm a bit of a seer myself, and using that, I might be able to track this energy that the Pale is giving off, and we can hunt it down. You can send along Laya, your Egil, the three of you, and fight it where it stands. It might take 2-3 days for me to brew it, so you all will have a little bit of time. But once it's ready, I think we just find it, we hunt it down, hopefully don't deal with any more Yawa along the way. And once it's dead, they kind of hesitate. It is our request that Ambuhotan is either left alone by Virbanwa, or there is some effort put in for the tensions to not be so high, as there has been bloodshed between our people. And so long as that continues, the Yawa will continue festering on this island.
I agree. From what you've told me, what we need is unity, harmony. That's why we're here. That's why the Father, as gracious and honorable as he is, asked us to take this and put our lives on the line. Because we come here and we shed our blood in the hope that we might find a better future for all of us, but together. It seems you're not opposed to that.
The elder is going to shake their head and say, "Given conditions, we may be willing to discuss. It will depend on whether your mission is successful at all. It is my preference that Ambuhotan be left alone entirely. But Laya and Bulan have said to me that for now we can offer softer terms."
It's wise to think that way. But what I think is unwise is to think that Ambahantan will be left alone forever. People will always come to your home. People will always come to find your people, to seek resources, to seek the home that you have, the land that you have. And you will have to make a choice about who you trust and who you don't trust. I understand that me saying this makes you trust me less, but I hope that in your wisdom as elder, you see the truth behind my words and you move past the emotions, because if not Verbanwa, who next? We came here to help you with Yawa. Sorry, is it Yawa?
Yep.
The Pale.
We came here to help you with the Yawa. And we did so with no promise of anything else, to show you in good faith that we are here for unity and harmony. I do not think many other people would do that. And Pavlo like takes a deep sigh as if to like steady himself and then composes.
Holder of your nation's ring, what say you?
Yeah. Okay. Uh, I don't know very much. It's probably the wisest thing I can muster. But what I do know is your people are good people. He looks to Laya and Golan and the elder, and he like takes a moment to like hear people singing and laughing and enjoying themselves outside, despite almost dying. Like the feels like the village would have they're on the paper's edge of being wiped out, and yet they're singing. Your people are one of the most resilient that I've ever met. They look at terror with joy. They fight it with song. So that's cool. I also know that our people have purposes and intentions, and Makagagahum has 3 heads, and I don't know what direction he's looking at, but I also know that the 3 of us also have 3 heads, and we're looking at you. And he like looks around. And it's like, I guess what I'm saying is we're here to help, and my head hurts, and maybe we can just eat and remember that we're fighting for one another, not just ourselves.
Laya is going to smile over at you, Jace, and say, "You're honest, and personally, I like that. And you're really right about one thing. The people of Gatusan will sing in the face of danger, and we will always fight. And this is just something for you all to consider. So long as there's an attempt to occupy Ambuhotan, we will fight. Just something to consider. Perhaps if relations remain peaceful, perhaps if everyone is as nice as you all, maybe there can be some measure of diplomacy. But
Jason's
in
like Jason's looking at Egil. He's just like,
oh, Egil's been like uncomfortable this whole time. He's going
yeah,
every few minutes.
Yeah.
And Laya's going to say something important for all of you to know as well. It is Gatusanon tradition that those who perish in battle become, let's say, sky gods. It is more noble to die fighting than to submit in our culture. And we have always fought, and we always will. Just something for you to know, Sir Pablo, is that for us, death might not be so bad so long as we're still fighting. So just something to consider when you speak to your father.
I understand. And Pavlo will look to Paloma. And what's her expression here? Like how are you doing? Like what's going on?
Mhm.
I think Paloma's like face is always like a book, right? You can always kind of read what she's thinking. And her face has changed like many times throughout this whole thing. It's gone from like, yeah, good points to this doesn't seem to be going our way to yeah, no, this seems more positive, and just kind of like keeps like going from like puzzle to frown to like kind of like smile with a nod this whole time. And I think with that reminder of the Gatusan way of not going down without a fight, there's like the smile comes across her face and a little chuckle. She lets out like a little chuckle. You know, we are not that different because Makagagahum wouldn't want it any other way. Through combat, we achieve glory. And whether that glory be for yourself or for the one true God, it matters not. What matters is that you don't get simply snuffed out like a firefly. What matters is that you explode like a sunrise on the horizon.
It is as they say throughout all of the Sword Isles, after all. Violence until glory. This is the way of the warrior of the Kadungganan. There is much to be thought of here. For now, all of you rest, sleep, save your strength, and once Bulan finishes their concoction, we hunt the pale.
Violence until glory.
Jace is like eating. Violence until glory. Sorry, I couldn't wait.
And then Pavlo like elbows Paloma.
Paloma elbows Eggle.
Violence until glory. Laya and Bulan repeat the same in unison. And with a little bit of a buzz, you all head off to your sleeping quarters for the night. There isn't a whole lot of space being allotted for the four of you. But the fabrics that you are sleeping on are soft. The hut is airy. And for the first time, with the sun not beating down on you, it doesn't feel especially hot. It feels breezy. There's the moment where you can almost understand why the people of this island, perhaps of this culture, are in such reverence of the wind. As in this moment, it's like a blanket, keeping them all safe. Now, as you all start to drift off and start to sleep, your minds wander as you think on the events of the day. And you dream. Jace, we'll start with you. At first, not a dream, but a memory. As you see Adlawa, your love, standing in front of you. Her face gorgeous, her eyes bright, but she says the one thing that makes your skin crawl, piercing you more than any armor, any blade. She says, Jace, how could you? Before she and her family are shot and crumple to the ground. Jace, you feel a rumbling in the ground before you realize that it's coming from you, from your arm, as it starts to unwrap. The wrapping and bandages around your arm starts to surge out of control. It falls to the ground, and you see it start to inflate. Your body start to change.
No, 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 no.
Jace, you start to grow in size, and there is nothing on your mind other than anger and rage. You feel like you could swallow the island, the Sword Isles, the world with this arm if you don't stop it. And then there's
My name is Jace. My name is Jace. My name is Jace.
Jace, as you affirm this to yourself, as you attempt to ground yourself, you see someone standing before you. Now you're no longer a monstrous beast, but yourself, and a hooded figure stands across from you. They look up the backdrop of this forest behind them. You see scales on their skin and yellow eyes, and they just say, "Find me." Paloma, you have a warm dream. There's two figures above you, a man and a woman, and they're laughing. They're rubbing your cheeks, and you realize that you are so small, so much smaller than you currently are. There's something familiar about their faces. Before you realize their faces are very similar to the one that looks back at you in the mirror. These people look a lot like you. But there's a tug on the back of the blanket that you are swaddled in. And you don't know what it is or what it was, but you were taken away. And these two figures kind of flash as if they were nothing more than the reflection in your sword, which you now hold in your hand. You feel a clasp on your back as you see the other warriors that trained you standing alongside you now. Whatever that was just a dream, right? Pavlo.
Yep.
You dream of nothing, or nothingness, I should say. It's empty. Perhaps one of the scariest things to you. Quiet. Silent.
No.
There's
No, 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 no. Pablo screams, yells, hoarse in the throat. Someone has to hear him.
You try, and no sound is coming out.
He claws at his throat. Something has to come out.
You would claw at your throat if you had hands or a throat to claw at. Pavlo, in this void, you too are nothing. It's empty. It's lonely. And then there's fire. There's fire and an enormous figure standing in front of you. Or perhaps should I say, meditating. With their golden skin wrapped in barbed wire, wings on their back, 6 arms holding a gun, a sword, a coin, a wheel, 3 heads bleeding from the eyes from the nails driven into them, and a golden crown, a star above them. As a vision of Makagagahum, your one true god, appears in your dreams. And in a voice that does not come from their mouths, but from their sheer spirit, you hear, "You can't get away from me, my child. Come home."
No, 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 no. And just screaming with no voice and clawing with no hands and crying with no eyes. Pavlo fights in futility.
And so, Pavlo, you feel Makagagahum's hands start to craft you, mold you as if you are out of clay. Now you have hands. Now you have a face. Now you have a voice. And it says to you, "Of course you are mine, my child. I created you. I created everything. And so, you belong to me."